for our first responders. It's part of why we do this show every Thursday, honoring our veterans and our first responders. I'm honored to have this guest on our show. John Larocchia is he was part of Hazmat One. Was an amazing New York firefighter. Just those guys, amazing. My heart always goes back to that day on 9/11, where those guys, to me, were the heroes of the day, charging in when everybody else, that Marine Corps in me, that Marine just jumps out. They charge into the building like we charge up the hill. And it takes a special mind. I think that's why first responders and veterans are so wired alike. We go through the same things. John has an amazing organization that he's part of. I watched it 2 weeks ago. They did this just online marathon of comedians. I laughed really hard at some just really bad jokes, but it was a great time. So without further ado, John Larocchia.
Hey,
how are you?
Thanks for having me down my dirty basement here. Everybody has this beautiful backgrounds. And I was thinking, I'm not going to get on anyway. You have all these military and heroes and Jennifer and Lisa and Rod. And I'm like, I'm getting bumped. Like the old Johnny Carson show. I'm getting bumped on this show.
Hell no.
So I was enjoying it and really good stuff. Really, really good stuff.
There was no way I was going to bump you, my friend. You can, Butch, I'm sure we'll share with you. I've been really excited about having you on.
You're the one. I
love my first responders. Love you guys.
I've been isolated in my basement now for 3 weeks. Did he tell you that?
No, why?
I have no idea. My wife and my daughter told me to go down here 3 weeks ago. They've been throwing chicken cutlets down the stairs. They put soup on the stairs that rolled down like a slinky. So I've been down here for a while. So it's nice.
You're just hanging out downstairs now?
I got a bathroom. I have a bathroom, so I'm happy.
It's like a man cave.
Yeah. You were talking, we did that marathon of a mess of a telethon. We had a ball. I talked for 5 hours. I haven't been able to talk to anybody for a while sitting down here. So it was fun. And it was all about the N95s. I mean, I was in hazmat for 11 years, and I always had the right equipment. Every run that I went on, every call that I went on, I felt like New York City gave me the right equipment and I was protected. And I'm talking to these firemen, EMS, nurses, and they're wearing the same N95 in emergency rooms the whole day, 2 days. So we went out and we purchased 4,000 of them. They're in the United States now, and we should be able to start divvying them out by next week. So that's pretty exciting.
That's awesome. I did read a report, or not a report, it actually came from Governor Cuomo today. He said that over 21% of New Yorkers were exposed to or had the coronavirus, were around I don't know, it's so confusing. You either had it, I don't know. I
don't understand it either. All I know is that I was a member of the FDNY hazmat team, and I went to Stop and Shop the other day and wore more equipment to shop for my eggs than I did at half of my runs with the FDNY. I mean, it's crazy out there. It's crazy.
I've seen mothers arrested. I saw in Colorado, there was a mother arrested on a playground with her daughter.
Yeah. Well,
they took away cups.
That might have been a little, but people just have to be smart. Yeah. Just be smart out there. Keep your distance. A friend of mine does a joke by he had an order of protection, so 6 feet is no problem to him. And he's used to like 100 yards. But I stole that joke from Frank Biella. So if you saw this, I'm not stealing it. I'm giving you credit. It's crazy out there. Really crazy. The VA hospital shows, though, we do. I was not in the military. My dad was. My dad was between World War II and Korea, and he tells us the same stories over and over again. The same stories. But I have a special place in my heart for the military. They leave their families. You guys left your families and went to a foreign land to fight for us. So we do these shows at the veterans hospitals. There are some World War II vets there. And we do the shows and we bring fruit. They like the fruit more than the show. They'll fall asleep. Whatever, it doesn't matter. They always say to me, John, thanks for not forgetting us. And that's what's killing me right now. We can't get into that hospital, and these guys are stuck in a room. And, the hospital at St. Albans in Queens is from the 1950s. I wish they had a beautiful theater in that hospital for those guys to go down to and we could do the shows, but they don't. So we do what we can, we do what we can.
It's heartbreaking. I mean, and you saw that we had Jennifer Marshall on, and
Yeah.
she's part of the pinup vets that goes into the VAs also. And I know that they're struggling with the same thing. I mean, both your guys' organizations are awesome. I want
to talk to her because we want to expand our program. So maybe we can, work something out where she can introduce me to some of her contacts and
I'll make that connection happen. We'll make the.
All righty.
All right, I got you.
Yes.
So let's talk about Laughter Saves Lives.
Yes.
I mean, like I said, I watched the telethon. That Australian comedian was hilarious.
I don't like to push the charity. I don't like to mention it much. Laughter Saves Lives. But if you see, this is, by the way, these are the 19 guys we lost on 9/11 in my company on the back of my shirt. And everything is done in memory of my guys. Not only these guys. All are the firefighters who were lost on 9/11 and because of 9/11, who are still being lost and sick. So after 9/11, I didn't start to feel normal. Lost 19 guys at my firehouse. Other than the military, where do you have a job where you could come into work and a third of the people you work with are gone? So I didn't experience the military, but I experienced that. And how do you deal with that? Well, you don't. You really don't. But I remember laughing once. Maybe it was 4 months after 9/11, and the first thought you have is, "Ooh, that we shouldn't be doing that," And then the next feeling you have is, "That felt good." So at one point after that, I said, "What a great way to remember my guys who made me laugh so hard." I mean, people would come in the firehouse and go, "You're the comic? These guys are so much funnier than you." And I would steal their material and use it on stage and get paid. But that's another story. So I said, "What a great way to remember them by making people laugh in their name." And raising money for cool charities in their name, and then putting some in the Laughter Saves Lives Foundation. And we normally use that money to help cops, firemen, military who are struggling due to a tragedy, who are not in the spotlight. We're expanding our mission statement now. We're going to include healthcare professionals, because not only were they always our heroes, but man, people are really realizing what character these nurses, doctors, maintenance people in the hospital, x-ray technicians have. So we're going to expand it, and we're putting together a tour, Laughter Saves Lives Responders Tour, and healthcare professionals, where the comics are all going to be from responders, and we're going to raise some money for cool charities, and we want to bring it into theaters and stuff like that. So that's what we're doing.
I love that. I mean,
I didn't see you anymore. I thought you fell asleep or went to get a sandwich. You disappeared on me.
I would never do that to you.
Okay.
I gave you the screen. I wanted you to plug
is that
away.
what it was?
I just wanted to make sure. But no, Laughter Saves Lives. We actually added it and decided moving forward on Thursdays, just until, we'll probably go between you guys and Pinup Vets as the two organizations that we want to support. But we are showing it as we promote the show every Thursday.
Wow,
we want folks to know that they can donate to Laughter Saves Lives, because you guys do cover everything that means something to me and my family. I know we go to New York once a month, or we were going to New York once a month before COVID. And we stay down in Soho and walking. I've walked all the way down. I've done the Joe Biscopo show a few times. And as you know, that takes you right down by the Trade Center.
Yes.
And going by those firehouses, I know every time I go by, I thank those guys. And you see that loss of life, and to talk to someone who, again, as a Marine, I can relate to losing everybody, but no one else can. And again, just heartbreaking. Those guys, to me, those guys and gals are just amazing. And now we have these amazing folks on the front line doing a longer term, what I'm calling like a long. Everybody compares everything to 9/11, which bugs me.
Yeah.
Nobody ever was bugging like, hey, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. Yeah, we lost a lot of people that day, but you don't ever compare it to Pearl Harbor. And I'm like, why is everything ever compared to 9/11?
It's so recent. It's the most recent. I think about that too with Pearl Harbor, and people are down on 9/11 on the memorial taking pictures. And I go down, I'm standing there, and I get a little upset, and then I go, they're probably doing this down in Pearl Harbor. People are taking pictures or whatever. They don't mean to disrespect most people, So yeah.
That is true. I agree with you there. I was promoted on the Arizona when I was in the Marine Corps, because I was stationed in Hawaii, and it always was weird to see people go there. And I don't have any photos of anything from there, because we never took any photos. And when we've been to that memorial, number one, it's intense to go to. It's extremely hard to. Not a dry eye in the room. I almost started crying when you were showing your T-shirt. Okay, I'm emotional, and I wasn't even there that day. But it means a lot to me. Those names, those people, those are heroes, and that's what this show is about. It's what your organization is about, and I want people to support that. That's why we have this show. You are equal to these other three warriors we had on today.
Now, thank you. thank you for that. And I'll tell you a quick story. Do I have time? Do I have time?
Go ahead, man. Show is yours.
The story's 25 minutes long. Thanks.
Okay, perfect. We'll go. It's my show, so we can do whatever we want. See, my name's on it. I make the calls.
You say you're included with those heroes. I don't feel that way, but thank you. But when my Uncle Joe died, it was about a year after 9/11, and this is in the screenplay. Time to Laugh Again. We're working on. My Uncle Joe was a military guy. I apologize. I don't remember what branch. I think it was the Army, and we were at the cemetery. So before the cemetery, my dad and this guy that Joe was in the military with came up to us, and he said, "Listen, you're going to give Joe a military send-off. I guess they give, I don't know how many with the rifles, how many shots they give. I'm sorry." But he said, "We're going to give Joe a send-off tomorrow." And my dad said, "Hey, listen, can my son join us at the gravesite? This was after 9/11. He's a New York City firefighter." And I immediately stopped my dad. I said, "Dad, I don't belong with you guys." I said, "You guys left your families. You went overseas. No, I don't feel comfortable with that." And this guy was really, and he grabbed me and he said, "Son," he said, "you a New York City fireman?" I said, "Yes." He goes, "You're going to stand next to your father and give your uncle a send-off." And it was the only time in my life that I got to stand next to my dad and be one of them for that short time, the 4 or 5 guys that were there. And it's one of the highlights of my life.
Well, that I like that story. I mean, but you got to take it from our angle, right? As someone who served, and I know we all look at first responders. You guys do the same thing we do. Yes, we deploy and have people who want to kill us. They really don't like us for some reason, and but hey, we're really good at what we're doing. The Marine Corps, we got an amazing track record of kicking ass. We're kind of proud of it.
Yes, you do.
We're proud of it. But I mean, we look at first responders, firefighters, police officers the same way. You guys raise your hand and take an oath, and you risk your lives when you go out. I mean, we could talk about that. It's not just 9/11 that you lose firefighters. You guys know that. I mean, it's part of the risk of the job, just like ours. Our oath states that we will give our life for our country. I don't know the firefighter oath very well, or at all. I know you guys have an oath. Everybody has one.
Part of the oath is a good lunch.
Okay, good. As long as you're fed well. I know you guys eat good. I am envious. I think that's the different people go, "What's the difference between first responders and the veterans?" And I said, well, as a Marine, I can tell you firefighters eat hella better than we do. So much better. Like, they give us crap food, and you guys go to, like, you're in there with your cool little fire truck.
We're stirring with the axe. We
guys eat good.
Good meals.
And you make really good TV shows. You got Dennis Leary, who's confused. He's in New York, but he's a Boston Red Sox fan. I mean, so.
He's done a lot for firefighters. And you know why Dennis Leary has done a lot for firefighters? Do you know why?
Why?
His cousin was one of the firefighters that died in the famous Massachusetts fire.
And then Steve. So is it true? Let me ask you why I have you here. You're a firefighter, so I get that. So is it true Steve Buscemi was a firefighter?
Yes, he was a firefighter for 5 years in Manhattan.
Nice.
And you probably heard the story, but on 9/11, he threw on his old equipment and went down there and didn't tell anybody. He just went down and was digging right next to the guys. Didn't tell anybody. I mean, guys ultimately recognized him. Just like when I'm walking down the street, sometimes guys, "Hey, you're that famous." No, it never happens. Hey, one time in Manhattan, though, I performed at the comic strip. I passed. It was a big deal for me, right? And the next day, I'm walking down the street and I'm strutting, feeling good. And somebody comes up to me and goes, "Hey, I know you." And I go, in my head, I'm going, "Of course you know me. I'm the comic." And he goes, "You were in a fire in the lobby of my building yesterday." And I'm like, all right.
Either I'm funny or I'm saving your life, one of the two.
Nobody else had big fingers like this today, right? Everybody kept their. I'm Italian, so you're. Hey.
But we all do knife hand. We're all military, so we do the knife hand.
You do the knife hand?
I mean, we have. I mean,
I'm Italian, so I do this hand. Hey.
I mean, Lisa doesn't have to. She's like built like a truck, and she's a door gunner on a Huey.
Well,
I mean,
I was going to say as a fundraiser before I saw who's on the show, maybe I'll box anybody on the show, and then I said, "Oh no, that's not a good idea."
I would. No, and even Rod, who was on right before you, he does MMA. So
I wouldn't beat anybody. I wouldn't beat anybody, but I'd raise some money.
Yeah, you would. I mean, I'll connect you with all of them. Absolutely. I know all of them would be.
I pass. But how I can make some money, I could advertise like that famous story on the bottom of my shoes. You get it? So when I box, I'm going to be laying on the ground, knocked out, but it'll say Joe's Italian restaurant.
There you go. Hey, it works. Let's do it. We'll put Laughter Saves Lives on there. Just plug that away. Okay. So We got to get going. Unfortunately, we need to have you back on. This has been
It's
entertaining, and God bless you, man. I mean, you are just as the other, just 4 amazing guests today. For me, I'm honored to have all 4 of you on the show.
Let's say 3.5. 3.5.
No, 4, man. No. No. This is a veteran and first responder show. Everybody's equal in my eyes. You take an oath and you step forward. You guys do an amazing job. Those brothers that you lost on that fateful day, the folks that still raise the axe today and are out there protecting people. Now we can add these doctors, these nurses, the maintenance people, all those folks in hospitals, especially in the tri-state area and any other hot spots in our country that are keeping folks alive and doing a job where they're not prepared. They're not given the tools to do the job right. Yeah. Being a Marine, I kind of understand that because we're always given secondhand stuff. So it's kind of normal for the Marine Corps. But these N95 masks, to see what you guys were raising and the fact that our first responders, these paramedics, these EMTs are going to people's houses.
Nurses in the ER. She's telling me we use this. I'm like, oh my God. And we couldn't buy enough to help everybody, but we'll do our thing.
Well, we got to get the government to step up, and they seem to have all this money, so make them.
That's what made me laugh. I'm going, how am I able to buy them, but the United States can't buy them? How does Johnny from Laughter Saves Lives buy 4,000 masks, right? But the hospital's going, we can't find them. They're not. I just bought them.
Right? It's funny how they can't do it. Hey, but they can find $1 trillion though. So, anyways, it's been great having you on, John. Tell folks before you go. Plug away, tell folks how to get a hold of you and support your organization.
Simply go to laughtersaveslives.org. You'll see the shows we have coming up, any fundraisers we're doing. There's a donate button on top. We don't know if it's working, so just if you could do me a favor, tap on it, put $150 in, hit enter, and it'll help me test the button.
Oh, well, before you go, I just want to let you know, a comment came flying in, and I'm going to jump back into the buy box here. But Lisa said if you want a box, she says she'll promise to take it easy on you. So
no, she didn't. Did she say that?
So we can do that. I say we put it together.
Here's what we can do. We can box on Zoom. I'll do that with her. That's about it.
We'll put it together. We'll do it for charity. She's actually, her reserve station, I believe, is in Jersey. So we could put this together. We could make it happen.
Kill me.
But it'll be for a good cause.
You going to referee?
I mean, I might even fly in for this. I'll be the host. I'll be like the Joe Rogan of the show.
But let's work together on a show. Let's do a show, a fundraiser, comedy night somewhere after this is all over.
Absolutely. You got it, my friend. Thank you, John, for coming on. Let's have you on real soon. Let's chat offline about doing a show. I'm all in on that. We can get everybody in. We'll get vets, first responders. I love this. Let's do it.
That would be great.
Thanks, my friend. Thank you for coming on. Have yourself a great weekend and be safe.
Can I be on again tomorrow?
Sure. Come on. We have a soprano on tomorrow. So, hey, come join us.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks for everything.
All right, thanks. I'll talk to you soon.